Hello, everybody. This is a bonus live stream for everybody that's in. I love my eBay selling workshop. So come on in, come on in. This is a bonus special gift. And what I've done is I have rounded up 3 wonderful seller friends that have agreed to join me. And we're going to be doing eBay selling tips. There is nothing more fun and what I find more informative than getting together with fellow sellers, all with very different business models in all very different parts of the United States. And I picked them that way on purpose. And to learn how they go about their eBay business and what they find works for them. And all 3 of my sellers. What? Are you okay, Sharon?
There's a connection problem. Yeah, there's a connection problem. It seems like it's on.
Okay, so we're fine. So just hang in there and
I'll
keep an eye on yours. Okay, honey? That's
right,
great.
Thank
you. Good. So come on in, everybody. Yes. And let me know that you can hear me, and we're going to get right to it. I'm going to start with Sharon. So Sharon is in, hang on a second, I've got my notes here, Manteno, Illinois, and has been selling on eBay for quite a while, and she is SJ Topshelf Designs. And Sharon, if you want to introduce yourself, and if you could give us, what is your top eBay selling success tip for 2024?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Sharon, and I am a very happy eBay seller. I've been selling on eBay since 2005 and started out small and about medium sized now and have a blast doing it. My top eBay tip for you in 2024 is if you're already an established eBay seller and have a niche that you really like, my top tip is to stretch your wings and look outside the box and consider adding other categories to your store. I had been selling men's clothes exclusively, trio men's clothes, and did quite well. And during a workshop that Kathy gave about a year and a half ago or so, she suggested that very thing. And I thought, I'm going to do that. Well, I tell you, just between last year and this year, I doubled my eBay sales just by going outside of my comfort zone and learning more about selling other types of items. So that's my top tip for you.
Sharon, that's great. And I really commend you for the courage to step out, because at times it can be a little intimidating. It's like, I know this niche, I know this category, I want to stick in my category, even though my sales are a little flat, even though my sales are a little slow. And I know you're trying a lot of different strategies, and to go, you know what? I'm going to try to add a larger variety to my listings. And I'm going to take a look at things that sell. Because like I said in the workshop, you do want to check, does this sell? What does it sell for? Also keep an eye on the sell-through rate, which is how fast it's selling. So good for you. And to double your sales like that, yes. I'm so proud of you. Sharon is one of the members of my, you're welcome. One of the members of my membership love to be selling insiders. So I'm going to ask her, Sharon, for you, because you've been with me for several years now. For right now, what is working for you? Why do you find your insider membership the most valuable to you right now?
Oh, I'm so happy to be able to talk about that. You know, when I first came to the group in 2018, September 2018 is when I became an insider. I'd been going through a lot, and I ended up in trouble on eBay and almost got kicked off for life because of late shipments due to the fact that I was sick. And I just joined Insiders and decided that I needed to quit Insiders because I thought I was going to lose everything. And Kathy said, "Why don't you let us help you through it?" And let me tell you, between she and the group, holding my hand, listening to my fear, helping me with tips, encouraging me, I tell you, I was able to get from below standard back up to top rated plus for almost 3 years now, straight through 100% positive feedback, just from the encouragement and everything that the group gave me, especially with Kathy's guidance. So if you don't have to be in trouble to come to a group like this, but I tell you, I almost crashed and burned, and she helped me through the whole thing, and everybody in the group. I've got a lot of friends in there, people that I'll never meet personally, but we chit chat back and forth. We are on Facebook. It's just a lot of fun. I feel like I have a second family here. Thank you.
Oh, Sharon, it's a joy. And I love watching your courage and your strength and to work through that. It's scary to fall below standard. And it was an honor to work with you and to watch you work it through, to go from above standard to I go from below, which is hard because you're suppressed in search when you're below standard, to above standard, and then to top rated, and then with your listings, because you use the criteria for top rated plus to be top rated plus. I mean, I'm so proud of you. I really am. You're doing so great. So go, go, go. Yay, Sharon. And thank you for your honesty to share that.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that. I'm sure that encourages others. So Scott, my friend, Scott and I have known each
Hi.
other for years, and we've also had the joy of meeting face to face, because Scott is down in Virginia and has come up to New York several times. And if you don't know, that's where I'm based, is in New York City. Scott's a very successful seller, very different business model, which is why I invited him in. And he's down in Newport News, Virginia. His eBay store is Whoosh, W-U-C-H, just like his last name, Trade. Sells a wonderful variety of items. So Scott, come on in, introduce yourself. And again, just like I asked Sharon, what would be your top tip, the thing that you're finding that's working the best for you right now at the beginning of 2024?
Sure. And hey, everyone, what's really works the best for me is just having an open mind to change and being accepting of change. eBay is a constantly changing and evolving platform. They have to be competitive. What worked last year or last month even doesn't necessarily work this month. So just be very, very open to trying new ideas. Don't be afraid of promoted listings. If you want to experiment, try a control group, create an A group and a B group, and maybe take 2 or 3 items, put them in that A group and promote them. And then don't promote the other ones, and then compare your sales, compare your clicks and your metrics there.
Scott, I love that, because
that would kind of be my biggest tip going into it.
I think that's a great tip, because you'll hear people recommend blah, blah. But you know me, I'm always like, but test it. And I know it takes more work to test something rather than to just say, oh, I'm going to do what Cheryl says, or I'm going to do what Sharon says, I'm going to do what Scott says. But to take your inventory, and you can do it with small portions. It doesn't need to be, hundreds of listings, but to take similar items. So you don't want to compare shirts to shoes. So you take some shirts and you put them in one campaign. You put other shirts, you put them in another campaign, and then you don't put those in a campaign. And then see the results. I always say, what works for you? And then test. And you need to let it run, especially with promoted listings. You need to let it run for a couple of weeks. I mean, sometimes with promoted listings, we'll let it go for like 3 days, and we're like, oh, it's not working for me. And it's like, well, how long have you tried it? 36 hours.
That can go, Kathy, for anything. It can go for free shipping, returns, anything you want to experiment with to see if you're generating more traffic and more sales.
And that's what it's all about. Check your traffic.
Open to change.
What's the results? I talked about that in the workshop. We're sellers. What are your sales, right? It's like, what are the results that you're getting? That's wonderful, Scott. Thank you.
Yeah,
and Scott, you've been a member in my membership group, Love to Be Selling Insider, for quite a few years now. What's the greatest benefit that you get from the group?
There's actually so many. For me, that's really stood out. I would say the last 6 to 12 months has just been the momentum of the group, the spirit of the group. You're in a grouping with like-minded individuals, and we all kind of pull each other along, hold each other accountable. If you have an issue, you can put the question in there, post a question, and get positive and realistic feedback.
That's so true, because that's what you want. You want encouragement, but you also want truth.
Absolutely.
Right? Sometimes the truth's a little ouchy, but we're a very supportive group. So again, it's like, okay, this is great, and take a look at this, because that's what's going to help you. That's
absolutely
like what Sharon said. Everything's fine, but we're a little flat. So how do I get more sales? And what she discovered was to expand her product line. So that's a great thing. And like you said, to test everything: free shipping, free return. And again, you can listen to other people. It's good, but it's always wise to test it for yourself.
Yep. And the other thing too, Kathy, paying for something makes you a little bit more committed.
Yeah.
I find that it's not that much money, but paying every month, I'm committed just a little bit more committed to getting in there and selling and listing and wanting to get my money's worth, so to speak.
More skin in the game.
Absolutely.
That's great. So I'm going to pivot over to Cheryl. And Cheryl is in Rose Hill, Kansas. So go Chiefs. And if I offend any of our 49er fans, we're cheering you on too. But Cheryl is a big Chiefs fan if you check her out on Facebook. And we are going to Super Bowl. Another thing, as far as if you've got football stuff, now is the time to be posting it.
Yes, it is.
When you look at Cheryl's store, excuse me, because it's happens to be a favorite of mine. She does lovely variety, but focusing on a lot of vintage. And vintage variety, but her one of her great loves is ephemera. So I love to pop over and look at Cheryl and see what ephemera she's got. You would tell me, Cheryl, right now, because again, we've got through the first month. What's working for you right now? What would be your top sales tip to a fellow seller for 2024?
My tip would be to stay curious and not get in a rut. To develop a seller radar when you go, not only when you go to places you normally procure your inventory, but when you go to Target and the grocery store, and when you look online, to always have that thought in the back of my head, how can this help me be a better seller? Because we need to know trends. We need to know the color of the year. We need to be aware of fashions and fads and things that are hot right now, because even vintage sellers can plug into that, and it can give you new and exciting little places, niches that you can sell in. And just having an attitude of curiosity, I think, is my tip for 24.
That's a great one. And I've noticed, because Y2K has been a big vintage trend for a while, that now the 80s are trending in vintage fashion. So what I've done to help myself, because I'm a visual learner, and I'm actually going to share this more in Insiders over the next couple months, I've created a Pinterest board, and I've started pinning 80s fashion and 80s TV shows. TV helps me because I remember the look, and Dynasty happens to have been a big 80s show. And for me, the outfits that Joan Collins ran around with were very distinctive, very much stuck in my mind. Same thing for Linda Evans. So again, when you see something like that, like Y2K was trending, now the 80s are trending, is know what works for you. And for me, I'm a visual learner. And Pinterest, if you don't know, you can create a board and make it secret so only you see it. So if you're just like looking around for ideas, or you want to keep an eye on trends, like Taylor Swift's going to have another big concert tour this summer. If there's something that she mentions or that she starts talking about, or some color goes on trend because of her tour, doing something like the board can help you remember that and keep it in your mind when you're outsourcing. And whether you're in a Target or you're in a Walmart or you're online, and Cheryl, I know you source at estate sales, so I was going to hit you up for an estate sale tip, because a lot of people overlook estate sales, get intimidated by estate sales. What would you tell somebody if they hadn't been to one, or if they've been to one and they had a really bad experience? Tips about doing an estate sale that work for you.
I would encourage you to give it at least a half a dozen or so tries. Every estate company is different, and to get there early, get there with good shoes on, and have their method of payment ready, and just keep going in there. Look at pictures that are available ahead of time. Consider online auctions, where you just go and pick up the stuff. That I love that. That's kind of my new way to go, because I'm getting older and I don't want to fight with the 20-somethings over stuff in the box, but I can bid online and then I just go pick it up and it's mine. And so
I think that's great.
They're evolving new ways all the time of being able to buy at estates. And
that's another thing, is to think outside the box, be aware of things like that, be open to that. And like Scott said, Sharon said, try it. Maybe put $40 or $50 aside to try bidding on an online thing that I'm going to go pick up. And you don't want to put your money away. That's your mortgage payment or your car payment, but you put aside that 40 or that 50 to try, and see what the results are, see what works for you. So Cheryl is a member in Love to Be Selling Insider, and you're one of my founding members. What works for you as far as being a member of Insider? What's the most valuable part of it right now for you?
Well, I always say that Insiders is a one-stop shop, and that is invaluable to me. If I have a question, if something goes down on eBay, I know I don't have to go to 5 or 6 different groups and try to have them help me guess what's going on. I know if you don't know the answer, you'll do your best to get one, and it'll be something we can depend on. Also, you get the plus of members who have a wealth of knowledge and information in their own right, and we pool together and we help each other. And it is an investment that is well worth it.
Thank you so much. So I just wanted to do a quick round robin because we've got the time. One last closing tip or thought. And if Sharon, if you want to lead off for us.
Sure. Another tip that I share with people that they don't consider sometimes is when you're looking up items and see what they sold for. My recommendation is not just look for the items that sold and check the price, but check the completed. When you check the completed, you get a ratio between how many sold and how many actually did not sell, because you might see some big numbers, but there might be 5,000 listed, only 3 sold, and they were only the red ones. So be more specific that way by choosing completed.
Sharon, that's great because it really goes to the sell-through rate. And again, those big numbers will attract us, but we don't see the 500 that didn't sell. So that's a great tip. Thank you so much. Scott, for you, a closing thought for everybody to encourage them.
I would say don't get caught up in other groups' rhetoric. Don't compare yourself to other sellers. Sometimes you hear sellers posting or doing screenshots of their sales. Be very skeptical of that. Don't let things like that get you down.
It's true. Thank you so much,
Be
Scott.
very cautious of what you read and hear in groups outside of this group.
Yeah. Yes, I was going to say, I know this is going to shock everybody, but don't believe everything you read on social media. Right. Cheryl, closing thoughts from you.
I would encourage you, whenever possible, to sell things you love to sell. I know sometimes we sell stuff, like sometimes in the past I've sold coins and stamps, which I hate because they're just a pain for me to sell. But I love to sell toys. I love to sell ephemera and vintage and historical pieces. And so take joy in your daily routine and just have fun with it.
That's great. So you can see is the people that are in my membership love to be selling Insider. Great variety all across the United States, all with different selling models, all have different goals and things in their business. As I said, I'm not a cookie cutter coach. I'm very much about what do you want from your eBay. And then in Insider, we come and we stand by you and they're cheering you on and helping you and guiding you and answering questions. And as was mentioned too, is we all help each other because we all have different expertise. And again, some of our sellers are very part-time. In fact, Sabrina, who I had mentioned, is a part-time seller because she's a full-time mom and has a full-time job. And she doubled her part-time sales coming into Love to Be Selling Insider. She's one of our members because she said to me, it just saves her so much time because she wants to come in, know what's going on, know the trends, know the rules. When the updates come out, I do break them all down and give notes to the group. So it just saves you so much time. And if you get 2 hours saved a week, 3 hours saved a week, that's a lot of listings. That's a lot of shipping. That's a lot of unlisted items getting listed. And that's revenue in your pocket. It also really reduces the stress. So you're not like, what is going on? What is the truth? What does this mean? If you're not aware of it, there's some big changes in Facebook algorithms going on right now. eBay has talked about it's going to be changing some things in the search algorithms this year. There will be an update coming out in the next month or so. We'll certainly see what's going to be going on with that. And what I do in the membership and with my team is break all that down for you. So it's completely understandable. You know what's going on and you know what impacts you, because some things that change on eBay really don't impact us as sellers. And then there's other things that do. And just to have clarity on that, to not spend 3 hours on the internet trying to figure it out and just pulling your hair out. And just the joy. You can see the people in my membership are warm, kind, smart, fun people. So we'd love you to join us. So come on in. We will be open to new members until the end of Thursday. Then we do close our doors because we got to get back to work and get going with the first quarter, sell, sell, sell. But we'd love to welcome you in, to love to be selling Insider. Thank you, Cheryl and Scott and Sharon, so much for joining me. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
This was fun. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.